tossing you off, gets me off, like my lawyers when the fucking judge lets me off.
It is obvious. I am the chosen one.
We know the rib cage is being nerfed, but what about the band of air? Roll it. Welcome back, friends, foes, and... So as you all probably already know from various content creators, including myself, the rib cage is getting nerfed. It's not super huge, but also not super fun. Nobody likes to get nerfed. But regardless, it's big enough that you'll probably have to move some shit around, like swap stats, possibly use different consumables, and maybe some different companions or what have you. But it's not an impossible task, and Ruthless Might is still the best bonus any armor has to offer. No other armor at the moment, at least for DPS classes, will be as good as the rib cage or the tactful leathers of the Dragon Hunter. People will use either or depending on which one is easier to obtain, and I assume the new mythic gear is most likely much easier and cheaper than the rib cage will be. But that being said, the rib cage is not the main subject of this video. This video is about the possibility of a Band of Air nerf, which in my opinion isn't just possible. I think it's 100% what's going to happen. It's just a matter of deduction and simple logic. Since they nerfed the rib cage due to balancing reasons, then the Band of Air is surely going to be nerfed soon, since it's even more unbalanced. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the chance of me being right on this one is pretty high. So if the Band of Air is nerfed, would that be a bad thing? Would players be angry or would it be better for the game? The people who would definitely be mad are most likely the players who just recently got it, or will get it by the time a nerf possibly happens. Also the players who ran Hardcore Voss hundreds if not thousands of times to only see it get nerfed afterwards. And I can understand why they would be mad, and it's justifiable if you look at it from the simple point of view of I got burnt out farming the crap out of mini-bosses to get the best ring in the game, and now it's nerfed. Keep in mind it hasn't been nerfed and hasn't even been announced to be nerfed. This is just my opinion and my belief that it will be nerfed soon. And we all know when Cryptic nerfs something, most of the time that something will be unusable and not worth using most of the time. It's not always the case, but 9 out of 10 times. So if that happens and the Band of Air does get nerfed and isn't one of the 2 best rings you can use, then what reason would players have to run anything beyond the first mini-boss in Hardcore Voss? The only reason the community even went to the end of a Hardcore Voss run was for the reagents. But if the ring becomes unusable or other rings outshine it, then you only need to run the first mini-boss for the gloves or the boots or whatever else. But if the new gear that's coming outperforms all the gear in the Vault of Stars, then the Vault of Stars will suffer the same tragedy as most dungeons always do. Lack of incentive due to nothing worth going there for. I'm a bit of an optimist when it comes to Voss, because Voss has so many good rings and gear that I doubt they will all become worthless. But it's not impossible. It can happen, since this is Cryptic we are talking about. The Band of Air, if we're going to be real with ourselves, is utter nonsense. It does a lot of unrealistic damage. It does anywhere from 15 to 30% of a class's damage overall, which means procs are unreliable, and how much they proc is also unreliable. I mean, in what fucking Marvel universe does one item do 30% of a class's damage? I myself ran over 1,000 Hardcore Vosses to get one ring, and the only thing that would make me sad if it got nerfed is the loss of my time spent grinding it out, only to have it nerfed. But the logical me says, fuck the Band of Air. Nerf it to the ground. It's ridiculously unbalanced and creates huge gaps between players who use it and those who don't. And this is coming from somebody who uses the Band of Air. Legit, the only thing I would care about is how my grind was wasted on something that eventually got nerfed. That's about it. And people have the right to be mad about it. I'm not taking that away from you. Nerfs always suck. I just know I won't be mad because I never considered the Band of Air balanced in the first place. But I am very certain some players will hate it if it gets nerfed. And I can't blame them for it. Anything you work for has value to you. And when it becomes shitty, worthless, or underperforms due to nerfs, then you have every right to be angry. I mean, instead of nerfing it, they could have took a different route and made it easier to obtain so more people had it, like with a need of greed system. That way nobody gets mad and others can have a better chance at claiming it. So ultimately, if the Band of Air does get nerfed and it's not one of the 2 best rings of the game that you can equip, then it definitely kills all incentives to kill mini-bosses in Voss. So the nerf would affect more than just the ring. It would affect Voss itself. Just like the rib cage nerf will affect Nightspine and Avernus. People will just stop doing content that offers no rewards or has lack of incentives. Like I said, the possible nerf to the Band of Air is just my prediction and what I think will happen. Hypothetical, but has a very high chance of becoming reality due to the trend. That being said, while nerfs do suck, if there was an item in the game that would be nerfed that wouldn't make me mad, it's the Band of Air. The thing is just way overpowered. Prove me wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you want the Band of Air nerf or not? Do you think it will happen? And I know people who don't have the Band of Air won't care, but people who do just might. Anyways, like and sub, you window lookers. I gotta go. Galactic here. Peace out. Stay safe.
Impressive. You will make excellent